Hello everybody, this is Derek, or Lycan 101. Welcome back. This video, hopefully it'll be a short one, is just going to be a brief introduction to my character for the Killer Touch. Ser Attrigan Sundagar, the Sword of the Evening, Defender of the Faith, and Knight of the Emperorsguard. So, Ser Attrigan is a member of the House of Sundagar, a family that lives on the northwest region of the empire, close to the icy shores, and he is the second branch of the family. So there's the main branch of the house, and he's off on the second branch. So typically a branch that doesn't really get a lot of attention, they work to benefit the main branch of the house. The emblem of the House of Sundagar is a silver raven carrying a bloodied broadsword between its talons on a split background of black and gold. And this is a long, detailed backstory about why the flag is the way the flag is, and that's a discussion for another time. So, Ser Attrigan, he, like I said, was a member of the secondary branch of the house, and was originally intended to be a swordsmith, so he knows only the way of the sword, trained since he was little to make swords and in their use in combat. Eventually, there was a great war amongst or rebellion I should say, within the Emperor's empire, at which the House of Sundagar immediately sent devotion to the Emperor and sent aid in the form of troops, and Attrigan went along, at this point not a knight. And thereby during the war, he distinguished himself and guarded most severely. He wound up being in close proximity to the Emperor during one battle, and was sent and tasked to guard the regiment on the Emperor's right flank, and proceeded to lead the troops, or go along with the troops. He was only a low-ranking member of the military at the time, even though he was a noble's son. They were being led by another noble house. So the unit goes out, gets almost completely destroyed, but Attrigan retreats back with the rest of the forces, continuing to try to block the Emperor's right flank, and eventually a few men slip through the line and make a charge for the Emperor, whose forces and his guard are currently deployed trying to guard his left flank and his forward advance. Attrigan sees the slip, immediately pulls from his lines, breaking ranks, and guards the Emperor, and takes a stand along the Emperor's side, and cuts down 10 enemies. And he originally lost his longsword, which he was using during the war. He lost his longsword in the middle of this conflict, picking up a fallen enemy's scimitar. And he picks up the scimitar and uses it to cut down his enemies. While he wasn't particularly skilled originally with the scimitar, it was the weapon available to him, and with his knowledge of swords and swordsmithing, he was able to use it to his advantage. It was at this point that Attrigan severed the heads of 10 different men and guarded the Emperor's life, and as the Emperor turned around and saw the dead bodies there, he was right there to defend his Emperor. And then he was knighted and became Sir, and was also inducted into the Emperor's Guard. So that's how he became a knight. And he's called Defender of the Faith because he was very devout, or is very devout in his teachings and the teachings of the world, and worships the goddess Ser, goddess of fire and the sun. So he's very devout in his faith and will defend the faith at all costs, and is a very pious man. He prays every day for the right path to be shown to him through fire and flame, and through the divine might of the gods, that his will will be done, or the gods' will be done through him. And he earned his title the Sword of the Evening in one of the latest insurrections against the Emperor, when he was tasked to lead men across one of the larger rivers in an ambush assault at dusk, and which is unusual given that the Emperor usually doesn't send out his guard as leaders of the battalion. But Attrigan is slightly different than the rest of the Emperor's Guard. He likes to go out and let the men know that he's working for them and that he's one of the faces of the Emperor's Guard, and ensures that the men all know that the Emperor cares for them, even though he isn't always on the field. So, earned his title Sword of the Evening while defending and taking out this rebellion in this evening assault right at dusk, and had it done before the sun set. And it's rumored that it was an interesting battle where Ser Attrigan's sword glowed with the fires of Sarenrae, and that he was untouchable in this battle, where his skills were so legendary that no man could touch him in his resplendent golden armor, which has chiseled suns and the setting sun all across his armor, and his fiery red cloak billows out behind him. So that is Ser Attrigan Sundagar, a brief introduction to the mighty Ser Attrigan Sundagar, Sword of the Evening, Defender of the Faith, and Knight of the Emperor's Guard, who will be taking to the sands on the morrow, I believe it is, at which point he will fight valiantly for his Emperor to the death. Now, you were probably wondering why Ser Attrigan has entered into this contest. And that is actually a secret, and I cannot tell you what that secret is, but let's just say that the Killer Touch might not just be a gladiator game. There might be something else going on in the background. And Ser Attrigan volunteered to determine whether this is just a gladiator game or if there's something larger afoot within the games. And he's willing to lay down his life. And as he looks every day, or before every match, he looks into the fires to see the light of Sarenrae, to maybe glean his future within the fires. So hopefully Attrigan survives his fight tomorrow and continues on with his endeavors to figure out what's really going on in the Killer Touch gladiator games. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been Derek, Leica 101. Look for Attrigan Sundagar on the sands. I know I will be.